Welcome to Sarah's Shed, and in this episode we're going to be restoring an old log seat and encasing some historic pieces into it with epoxy resin. The log seat we're restoring in this video is a big chunk of wood that used to be part of an old wharf, and after the wharf was busted up and pieces sold off, some of them made their way to our local recycling yard where I often get doors and windows. So I got it from there and had it moved on a truck to my place with a mini crane lifted because it's really heavy. It literally weighs a ton. And when I was doing an oak chair project, restoring the chair I picked up from the side of the road, remember that? I'll put a link in the description. Yeah, so when I had excess epoxy resin left over from that project, I decided to use it to fill cracks in our old log seat. So that's how the project got started. Now, if you like what I'm doing here, please do hit subscribe to support the growth of this channel into a vibrant beginners woodworking and DIY community. As a new small creator in Australia, and in the face of a lot of competing AI generated rubbish on YouTube, every new subscriber and every extra comment really helps someone like me creating something real from scratch to help others learn and get confident. So let's pick up this renovation story right at the start now. So now's probably a good time to tell you about this little side project that I've got going. I'm trying to restore this old wooden seat, and it's just a huge old piece of wood, a massive piece. It's like a tree trunk really, but it's been sitting outside, out in the garden, out the front of our little studio, and it's just over the last couple of years, the cracks in the top have gotten deeper and deeper, and it's actually not that comfy to sit on. All right, I've got the leftover resin. Let's go. All right, so here we are at the log. Excuse my sunglasses, they go dark when I go outside. So anyways, hi. I'm at the log seat, and yeah, this end here, I've already started to fill these cracks, and I think that's pretty straightforward. Don't need to, it's just a matter of getting a bit more in there. So that part's, you know, pretty much the easy part. The other end is the problem area. Yeah, so down here where there's this huge hole with metal poking out, that's the problem. That's going to need much more resin, and that's where there's this opportunity to put a range of objects. So rather than having this humongous piece of metal sticking out, meaning you can't really sit on it, this is where, and this second piece, yeah, this is the section that I can really fill up with these objects. So yeah, I'll spend a bit of time, you know, working out an arrangement that I think maybe something like this, and I will start, I'll put some gravel in the bottom to fill up the, you know, the biggest sections and mix a bit of resin in. I'll probably have to pour it in sections a bit at a time, and that'll be cool, hey? And then by the time it's built up and you insert these objects in like the top layer, and make sure that the resin, you can pour a bit over the top, and that'll seal it all up. And then, yeah, this log seat will have like this really cool feature in it as well.
far out. That is really powerful tool. Got to be incredibly careful. Really have a firm stance, super confident. Pressure, because it kicks back. You got to really hold. You really got to hold it and really think about it. So yeah, this is probably not a beginner's tool. I've used it a few times and I still approach it with the utmost of reverence for its power. Whew. Whew-wee, that metal cutter is really full on. I've never cut something as thick as this before, this thick bar. Took a long time, had to just persevere. I've cut sort of skinnier metal before. But yeah, I managed to cut that much off, which is great, to get the level down under the seat. And then yeah, on this one here, I cut that much off. Yeah, and the piece, wow, it just, you got to wear those leather gloves. The whole thing gets so hot. This piece is still really hot to touch, and the sparks were absolutely, yeah, flying everywhere. So I was making sure none of my wood chip caught alight. That'd not be good in the Australian summer to have a little bushfire. No, you have to be really careful that your sparks don't set something alight when you're working on the metal grinder in the hot weather. Yeah, take care, people. It's a thing. I didn't realise the resin had gone, so it was going off, it was curing, it was already kind of hardened to a thick goop, and I tried to pour a bit more, and I tried to I used my glove finger to smooth it out over the top, because I remembered from the oak seat, you know, it gets like a thick coating on the top, and I'm like, oh, I don't want that, so I wiped my finger across to smooth it out, and it had already formed lumps, and it all kind of went lumpy and rough instead of smooth, and I'm like, no. So I kind of did what I could to push the lumps back in, and I've just come out now and had a look at it. I think it'll be okay, but I'm gonna have to, I think, use like a Stanley knife or a blade to cut some of the lumps back, and then do one more pour and hope that it sort of all joins up and looks nice and clear and smooth again in some of the cracks. What a bugger, I should have just left it. Anyway, it's just a couple of bits. I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh well. Righto, I'm back in my shed after using a little bit more of that all-weather sealant to create a bit of a bead, like an edge, to hold some of the resin in. After the first pour, you have a look, and I saw, oh, here's a few more low-lying areas, so I've just plugged it up. It came with this Lincoln, you know, thing you're supposed to, like a key you're supposed to turn. Totally bloody useless that was. The stuff is so thick, I just had to squeeze the hell out of it with my hands. And I had a disposable plastic glove on, and And the fingers tore on that too. So yeah, my hot tip for working with any glue or resin is absolutely wear like an old apron or an old shirt, and always have like an old rag in the in the pocket, so when invariably you get covered with goop at some point, you can really wipe the excess off. A lot of these sort of plastic, particularly the resin, you know, if it sets and cures on you, you've got like a layer of, yeah, it's impossible to get off, and glue is hard too. And they say you need to wash it like with methylated spirits, or you know, something harsh like that, whereas I find if I just get a rag and physically wipe the excess off, usually just a bit of soap and water, I found with this goopy stuff and even the resin, I'm able to get the excess off without having to kill my skin with too much you know, no one wants to be putting terps on their hands too often. Yucko, and stinks as well. Blah.
After taking off that temporary edge, this gave me an opportunity to get some practice in with my chisels, and this is something I have only started to understand recently. I've never used a chisel very much, but I did a little course and started to get some advice, and this was good. It looks like I know what I'm doing, but honestly I'm really practicing the approach. You'll see that I've got 2 fingers pressing down on the blade and I'm just gently pressing it forward, and that's how I was taught, and I was able to maintain control. I started with the small, and then some were bigger, and then when I needed to I moved back to the small. So yes, keeping the hand completely away from the end so you don't lose control and cut yourself. Holding with one hand, see the 2 fingers pushing down on the blade to keep it controlled, and that's how I was taught, and this sure gave me a chance to have a learn and have a practice. And eventually I got most of the icky stuff off and ended up with a reasonable finish on the front of the seat and no hard bits to scratch you in the bum when you sit down on the log. That's it for me for this week, but I'll be back with more videos. Thanks for watching till the end. Ahead is some exciting stuff. I've been asked to do a shed tour and explain a bit more about how I built my own shed. So I'm going to be going back through the photographs of the build and putting together a video combined with a shed tour, as well as other woodworking projects. So please do subscribe. Jump in the comments. I'm going to be there soon, answering any questions you might have. There you go, the parrots and the cockatoos. Yes, where was I? Yes, do ask a question, add a comment, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next exciting episode of Sarah's Shed.